Today I'm going to show you the highlights of the latest version of PNBend. The first thing I'd like to show you is a new feature that allows us to create a 3D part from a 2D part. To do this, we first import a DXF file. This DXF file contains both bend lines and text containing bending information. This means that here we can see the angle of the bend, the radius, and also the offset value. Once we have a DXF file like this, we can use the new function to load a 2D part to create a new 3D part. The 3D part has been loaded, and we can select our bending machine and have a bending program calculated. And then we can simulate the whole process, directly generate the NC program and send it to our bending machine. However, we also have the option to modify components again. Using our CAD module, we can make changes and generate a 3D model straight away. I'll just insert a section now, and then I can go back to my bending module and load the whole thing. And so I have a new 3D model again, which I can also easily program for my bending machine. And even now, I could generate an NC program and send it to my machine. If I know that my DXF file has already been created correctly, I also have the option in 3D to import the DXF file directly and generate a 3D model. And now I have a 3D model for this too, and can program it for my bending machine. The next highlight is our new 3D viewer. With this tool, you can now view a 3D simulation of your bending program anywhere. This means that if, for example, you have an older bending machine that lacks 3D graphics, you can place a monitor next to your bending machine and play the simulation on it. And this simulation is generated automatically when you create an NC program in our bending software. This means that I have already programmed the part here, generate the NC program, send it to my machine, and the 3D simulation is generated straight away. If I now go into our 3D viewer, we have a complete 3D graphic of the machine and the component. And here we can start a simulation and see exactly how the part is to be bent. This program is also suitable for touchscreen use, meaning all buttons are designed so that you can operate them with your fingers. There are also shortcuts at the bottom that allow you to quickly jump to a specific position during the bending process. This means that if, for example, you want to see the clamping step, you can jump to that point with a single click and then start the simulation again from there. The final highlight I'd like to show you is the new profile editor. With this tool, you can create profiles directly within our PNBend 3D. When you launch the function, you have the option of creating entirely custom profiles. You can also load saved profiles. We have included a few standard profiles here that you can use. When you load a profile like this, you can still adjust the existing dimensions. This means you can enter the length, bend angle or radius, and the 3D model will be adjusted automatically. You can also add further bends and change the properties. In the upper section, you can also change the extrusion depth And once your profile is ready, you can confirm the changes and transfer the component to our PNBend. And here, as usual, create a bending program. Additionally, you also have the option of creating a profile via our CAD module to generate a new 3D model. That means I simply draw a line here, and if I want this to become my profile, I can simply go to my 3D module. And if I now want to create a 3D profile from this drawing, I can launch this function again. I have the relevant button here. And then a new 3D model is generated from this 2D drawing. Which can then be programmed again in our bending software. For more information on the new features in the latest version of PNBend, visit WiCAM.com.